Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome, educators, parents, and everyone who is just completely passionate about early childhood learning. Today, we've got a really fantastic explainer lined up for you, drawing directly from Crimson Grove's elementary education phonics adventure. We're going to unpack their incredibly comprehensive guide on teaching lesson 4, which is the AI vowel team. If you want to make phonics stick while keeping your young readers totally engaged, well, you're definitely in the right place. We are going to walk through this lesson plan step by step. We'll look at how structured visuals and super intentional teaching methods can take a simple sound and transform it into a major literacy milestone for your students.
Now, before we even get to the letters and sounds themselves, listen to this. I can learn, read, and achieve great things. Crimson Grove actually explicitly builds their entire lesson around this daily affirmation. It sets just an incredibly empowering tone for kindergartners right out of the gate, anchoring the overarching theme of the lesson, which is amazing achievers. You aren't just teaching a vowel sound here. You're actually framing your students as capable, confident learners who are totally ready to conquer the day's challenges. It's a mindset shift, and it primes them beautifully for the academic work ahead.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, welcome amazing achievers. Second, meet the AI sound. Third, featured vocabulary words. Fourth, sentences and stories. Fifth, practice and activities. And finally, number 6, essential teaching tips.
Starting off with Section 1, Welcome Amazing Achievers, Cultivating Determination. Think of this as the character corner of the lesson plan. Crimson Grove specifically ties the phonics lesson to character building, and they define determination as amazing achievers keep trying until they succeed. They really reinforce the idea that amazing achievers learn by listening, reading, and practicing every single day. By directly linking the hard work of learning a new vowel team to the character trait of determination, you're giving your students a framework for resilience. So when they stumble on a word later in the lesson, and they will, you can remind them of this exact definition. Moving right along to Section 2, Meet the AI sound, making the long A. Now, what's absolutely fascinating about this is how visually isolating the letters A and I helps young learners completely grasp the vowel team concept. We are explicitly showing them that these two separate letters, when they're placed side by side, well, they team up. They drop their individual sounds and work together to make one single unified sound, the long A. Giving them this really simple, clear definition just removes the confusion and sets a firm rule they can always rely on.
And this is where you get to be wonderfully animated in the classroom. The lesson suggests having the whole class say this phrase together. As the teacher, you really want to playfully over-enunciate the sound to model it perfectly. You'll point to the board and say, A says ah, 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 getting the kids to repeat it back with just as much energy. It's this great little call and response that locks the auditory sound right to the visual cue of the letters.
All right, Section 3, Featured Vocabulary Words, Building the Foundation. The Crimson Grove lesson provides this really fantastic grouping of words for quick visual reference. In one group, we have the AIN words, right, like rain, train, chain, and brain. Then we have the ALE words, like male, sail, tail, and snail. And finally, some other variations like paint, plane, afraid, and waiting. Providing this comprehensive set of words helps educators instantly see the patterns they're teaching. It takes that abstract concept of the long A sound and grounds it in highly recognizable, everyday vocabulary that the kids actually know.
Section 4, sentences and stories, putting it into practice.
Let's look at 2 featured sentences from the lesson. The rain fell gently on the roof, and the snail moved slowly across the path. Now, why are these specific, simple sentences so highly effective for early readers? It's because they perfectly contextualize the new vocabulary. They aren't overwhelming at all, but they place the target words, like rain and snail, right in the middle of decodable text. It allows the student to experience the thrill of reading a full sentence while confidently applying the I rule they literally just learned. But as we know, words alone aren't quite enough for kindergartners. The lesson plan strictly advises educators on the importance of accompanying these sentences with super colorful visual cues. Think pictures of a train, rain, a snail, a mailbox, a rainbow, or maybe children wearing raincoats. These visuals are absolutely critical. They serve as memory anchors. When a child sees the picture of the paintbrush, it immediately triggers the word paint, which reinforces that I spelling pattern in their brain. It's really all about creating a multisensory learning experience. Which brings us to Section 5, Practice and Activities Engaging Young Learners. Crimson Grove maps out 6 very specific exercises for this lesson, and this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept of scaffolding in early education. We start with simple identification in step 1, just reading the words. Then, in step 2, they circle the AI word out of a group. By step 3, they're actually filling in missing letters. Step 4 is visual matching. Step 5 moves up to reading comprehension by completing sentences, and finally, step 6 challenges them to write their own sentences independently. It guides the students step by step from just recognizing a concept to completely mastering it. Let's actually simulate the classroom experience for a second. Imagine this example directly from exercise 5. The blank is falling from the clouds, and the choices are rain or bread. Mentally answer that just like a kindergartner would. It seems incredibly simple to us, right? But for a young learner, this is a massive victory. They have to decode the sentence, understand the context, decode the 2 options, spot their target AI Vowel team, and then make the logical choice. It is just a wonderful confidence builder.
And finally, section 6, essential teaching tips, the pro tip.
So the absolutely crucial point here is a fantastic spelling rule. It's such a brilliant connection to make for them. The A vowel team is usually found right in the middle of a word, like in rain or train. Contrast that with A, which is usually found at the end of a word, like play or day. Now, you don't need to teach the A sound fully today, but by just briefly mentioning this A pattern, you provide gradual reinforcement. When your amazing achievers reach the A lesson later on, they'll already have this helpful little connection planted in their minds. It ensures that phonics learning feels natural, interconnected, and highly memorable without overwhelming them today. Which brings us to our final thought. We've seen how Crimson Grove structures this lesson from mindset all the way to mastery, using visuals, scaffolding, and really smart teaching tips. So I'm going to leave you with this question. How will you use this gradual reinforcement to build your amazing achievers' reading confidence today? Think about how you can take these highly structured visual tools and apply them in your very next lesson. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep inspiring those amazing young minds and keep exploring.